I eventually decided to respond, if only to stop the torrent of calls. My mother's voice hit me like a tidal wave of hatred as soon as I picked up. Violet, what have you done? The hotel claims the reservation was cancelled, and none of the trips are scheduled anymore. I let her yell for a bit before calmly responding, I cancelled them. After a long, startled silence, she yelled, why would you do that? Oh, I don't know, I responded, my tone tinged with sarcasm. Maybe because you chose to accompany Lauren on my trip. You're lucky that I drove you to the airport. We thought you'd understand, she snapped. Understand what? I inquired, my voice rising. Those years of saving and preparing were irrelevant because Lauren required a break. Did you think my efforts were in vain? Guess what, Mom? I don't understand, and I don't want to. I hung up before she could react and switched off my phone, tossing it on the couch. The calm that followed was beautiful, and I felt like I could breathe again. If they wanted to prioritize Lauren, fine, but they could work out the rest of the journey without me. The calm lasted barely a day, and the next morning, my phone was humming again with calls and messages, which I initially ignored. I spent the day cleaning the home and catching up on work, but curiosity got the best of me, and by the evening, I had opened my phone and braced myself for the storm of texts. From my mother. Violet, you've gone too far. Your sister is in tears, your father is upset, and we can't get into any of the hotels you booked. Lauren. You're acting like a child, and I don't see why you're making this such a huge issue. Just repair it already. Finally, from my father. We need to discuss. This isn't right. I set the phone down, shaking my head. For years I'd been the one to fix things, to make sure everyone was comfortable and happy, and now that I'd taken a step back, they didn't know what to do. I poured myself a cup of tea and sat down at the kitchen table, letting the anger simmer. How dare they expect me to clean up their mess? How dare they act as if I was the one in the wrong? The next call arrived minutes later, and this time I answered. Violet, my mother said before I could respond. This isn't amusing anymore. We are stranded. Do you know how embarrassing this is? I took a leisurely sip of tea. Embarrassing? Do you think this is embarrassing? Try saving for years, organizing every detail, and then being told you aren't even going on the trip you paid for.